Good evening. It is January the 8th, 2018, and this is my daily journal slash blog. Um, so first thing I wanted to mention is I went to the movies last night. We saw Star Wars: The Last Jedi. It's a long movie. It was 2 hours and probably about 2 hours 25 minutes long. But it was a fun movie. I enjoyed myself. It wasn't the best movie of the Star Wars franchise, but it wasn't the worst. Um, so if you haven't seen it yet, I recommend going to see it. But be prepared. There are some things that happen that will probably not be to your liking, especially people who kind of have their, they're set in their ways on certain things, and also there were some surprises along the way, things that I thought, wow, I didn't see that coming at all. There were some decisions that were made story wise that I didn't quite understand or agree with. But hey, they get paid the big bucks to do to create the vision they want, and Star Wars has been very popular. So I if they, you make money, that's all that really matters. So the next thing I wanted to mention is I wanted to talk about being a transplant in San Francisco, especially with the weather. I was not prepared for the weather at all when I first moved to San Francisco because, like most people, I kind of had this idea that California is, because it's called the Sunshine State or the Golden State. We get this image of San Francisco or California, period, being just like what we see in LA. San Francisco is no LA. The best way to explain the San Francisco weather is we're surrounded by water on three sides, um, and because of that, our we don't have your typical spring, summer, autumn, fall. We have kind of one generic weather system all year long, with just the variations here or there. In the winter, we do get a lot of rain, but it never gets super cold. Like them, I mean, I think the coldest is probably like in the 40s. We don't get a lot of the typical summer. Our summer is typically around the 60s and 70s all day long, and then it gets foggy at night, so it might dip down into like the 50s. We do have an Indian summer between late August through the middle of October, I guess, where we have really sunny days. And then it's kind of back to the same thing. Spring is, in fact, probably the one season that you will never really see in San Francisco. The key thing about living in San Francisco is the concept of layers. You might have on a light t-shirt, but you also want to carry your sweatshirt or your jacket with you. And then you take it off. You might take it off during the day in the afternoon, and then you might put it back on again in the evening. So I think that's about all I'm gonna do for today. But I did want to give you guys a review of the movie Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Definitely worth checking out. I wanted to tell you a little bit about the weather here in San Francisco, and I'm thinking about other ways that I can kind of make my blog more interesting. I didn't really do much footage today because it has been raining all day. They say that it's going to rain until tomorrow. Plus, I also worked, and when I'm working, I really don't have the time to do any filming. But until next time, have a good evening.